Here we go. We're back with another weekly Sheep Farm podcast. This is episode 282. I'm joined by my larger nostriled brother. Although he'll argue saying my nostrils are larger than his, but his looks like a pair of binoculars, in my opinion. Disguised as manhole covers.
I don't even know what to say to that fact.
I don't know what to say either. I don't know. Well, I do. Just even take more piss. And we're joined today.
More piss. That don't even mean
take more piss. No,
That's not even fucking sentence.
We're joined today with a fellow Huddersfieldian, if that's the right word, Huddersfield lad, Huddersfax, and attended our school as well, Sallendine Nook, or as we called it affectionately, Sally Nook. No doubt it was scrapping on Longwood Edge against our arch nemesis of Royds Hall High School. Welcome, Michael O'Deara.
Good evening. Good to see you, lads.
Good evening, man.
No, the two scraps I had were outside the mobile, not the mobile, you know those mobile classrooms near the swimming pool?
Yeah.
I had two scraps out there, rather ridiculously, because the staff in the staff room was close by, and they came out and stopped it immediately. You know, when they used to get a gang of you, 100 plus people would gather round for a fight.
Yeah.
But no, I didn't actually make it over to Longwood Edge for a scrap with the Royds Holians, if that's the correct.
I don't think anyone ever did. I think that were a bit.
No, I think it was all talk, wasn't it? Everyone said, "Yeah, we saw them all, and we chased them off, and they chased us." Yeah,
cool mythology that was.
I got whacked once. Can you remember that? Just further up road, there were an apple orchard, and I remember legging it and going in this apple orchard, and the guy chased us out of there to give me a right twatting. But I didn't go and tell my dad or up like that.
You know, it's funny because the last recording you did, I heard you speaking about there were a couple of names, Mr. Smith, the history teacher.
Yeah.
And how did you get into trouble with him or something, Dom? Did he send you to the back of the classroom or something?
Yeah, we called him Hitler. I don't know if it.
He was called.
I think it was your lot that called him Hitler. I think.
Because for those who are watching this, we need to be clear that you were there probably 5 years after I had left, because I left in 1981.
Yeah.
And
I left in 86.
Christian started
89. I left.
You started in 89. I
left in 89. I left in 89. I left in 89.
You left in 89, so you started around 84. Yeah. But I would imagine a lot of the teachers were still there, because you mentioned also Mr. McCourtney.
Yeah.
He was the
science.
Was he an English teacher?
English teacher.
Oh no, English. Sorry, yeah.
And the other one
was the other science teacher. There was another science teacher, the one with red hair. McCormick.
Yeah, who were he? McCormick, yeah. He might not have been there when you were there, Michael. Yeah.
He was a bit slap happy.
I recognise the name, but do you remember that? Because McCourtney was a tall fella.
Yeah,
and there was also another teacher called Mr. Dennehy, who they called
Mr.
the Penguin.
Yeah,
and
Penguin.
He was about 6'6", 6'7", and he used to walk like a penguin. Did you remember?
And he were always pissed. He were always pissed, wasn't he? He always eating polo mints. Always eating fucking polo mints.
No, that were Hamlet.
Hamlet and Mr. Hamlet. Yeah, Mr. Hamlet.
Well, Harry Hamlet, he was my English teacher, and in my last 2 years at Sally Nook, we were talking also about Harry Hamlet, who was my English teacher, and I found him quite. I think he was a bit of a boozer.
Yeah, but I found about the whiskey in his drawer.
Yeah, and he also. Did you have him as a teacher as well?
I did.
Yeah. I enjoyed him. I thought
he was a very intelligent guy. I thought he was a very intelligent guy, Mr. Hamlet.
And kind of very laid back in his own way, and not unlike the famous actor Charles Lawton, if you know the fella. Played the Hunchback of Notre Dame, and played Penn Halligan in Albert Hitchcock's version of Jamaica Inn.
I wonder if these teachers know that I can't say they were bad teachers. What I mean by that is that, as in the violent, even though some of them did whack you. I wonder if they know that you still remember them. Because you were only there 4 years when you think about it. 5 years, you know.
I remember some from junior school and infant school. But
well, if you're paying attention, you do absorb it all, don't you?
Yeah, you do.
If you like attention, if you like the teacher, you absorb more, don't you?
Yeah, definitely. I think also at that time, the 70s and 80s, well, through the 60s, 70s and 80s, I think there was still quite a lot of independent thinkers in teaching, you know. And then in 1989, 88, 89, when I started teaching, they introduced the national curriculum. So it became a lot more homogenised, and there weren't
is that only when it was, Mac? I didn't know that. 89, was it?
Yeah. So up until then, the teachers had a lot of freedom as to what they taught. and some of them had quite, interesting radical ideas. Anyway, we got sidetracked because of what I was going to say, and I think this needs publicly acknowledging, is that you, being an old boy from Salandine Nook, Don, should be congratulated on your brilliant achievement. The book, 600 odd pages. And I think, as a former pupil of Hitler Smith, the history teacher, and Harry Amphlett, it would be most appropriate if the school was to acknowledge that, give them a copy of your book for the library, and invite you in to give a talk in one of the assemblies.
Funnily enough, don't think they'd want me there.
Don't think that'll go on curriculum.
No, but the point is, there would have been. I think there would have been a time when that would have happened.
Yeah,
because it would have been, if an ex-pupil had done that in the 70s and 80s, I'm sure they would have invited him.
They'd lauded him up, wouldn't they?
Yeah. So why not now? You wonder. It's because it's all become homogenized, and there are no real critical thinkers in the system who would think independently enough to have, or even paying attention to this sort of thing, let alone to even have you in. But if I were the head teacher, Dom, I'd have you there back as old boy made good. What an achievement. Absolutely brilliant achievement. And I have to say, hats off to you, Chris, for the design as well. I thought the cover was excellent. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, quality. I'm going to get a copy.
And all the little drawings and stuff like that inside, the doodles that Chris has done over the years as well.
I heard Chris bemoaning the fact he'd had to carry some of John Hayman's books from the car to one of your.
I wasn't moaning. It was funny.
All right, just pointing out.
Because I said, I'll give you a hand. I carried a few boxes in, and he kind of stopped carrying them in, and then he said, just shut the boot when you've done.
Well, John Hayman, I wrote
it's from Huddersfield and all, isn't it?
Well, that was the thing I was going to say. John Hayman, he was on. You had him on with his mate. Is it Andy Ross?
Andy Ross, yeah.
And I thought this book sounds interesting, so I tapped John Hamer up on Twitter, X, and I said, "Hey, John, would you like me to write a review of your book? I'm quite interested in it." And he was, bless him, he sent me a copy. I said, "I'm willing to pay for it, John, if necessary." But he said, "No, I'll send it you." And he got my address and he sent it me. So I wrote a review, and the review's up on my website actually. And I thought it was a great book because it's like a classic boy's own adventure.
Yeah, it is.
You know what I mean? Yeah, it's that sort of stuff that will get you. I mean, my website is based on a book by a guy called Geoffrey Household who wrote it in the 1930s. It's called Rogue Male. The film with Peter O'Toole features the central character. It begins with him trying to assassinate Adolf Hitler. And he gets caught, chucked over an edge, and then he begins a series of adventures that ends up on the Sussex Downs. And that's why I really enjoyed their book, because and it's also got lots of food for thought with regard to what the fuck is going on beyond the ice wall, as it were.
Yeah. So just if people don't know, John Hamer and Andy Ross have written 2 books now. There's actually a sequel to that first book.
Is it out?
Yeah, it's out now. Yeah. So
I'll have to tap him up for that as well then.
Yeah, you will. They have to do a review for that.
Andy was going to tell me one, but we're going to see him this weekend.
Yeah. So Super Yorkshire, we call Andy. I spoke to him today actually, because he's got that Super Yorkshire accent. Like us, we just crawled out of a pit somewhere, and he's got that nice, clean Emma Daly style Yorkshire accent from over Keighley.
Keighley, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, there are different shades of 50 shades of Yorkshire accents, I'm sure.
This is the issue as well. We get some grief sometimes about, oh, come on, guys, can't you sort it out? There's 3 of us, 3 Yorkshire lads who aren't audio trained on a podcast, and we actually get grief because sometimes it might sound a little bit out, or it sounds like this, and it's like chuffing hell. My exact answer to some people who put that is, please send me over your podcast and I'll listen and critique. But anyway, you end up getting shit for that as well.
It all falls on stony ground. Let's just get back. I do seriously wish to congratulate you on that book. It's an achievement, and it's made me realise I've got to pull my finger out.
Yeah,
I wrote a book. I did write a book 25 years ago. It was called Fuck the Buddha. And it was about my travels around India and Thailand after I'd jacked in my job. And it's on an old PC, the hard drive of which knackered. So I've got to retrieve it. But I've got quite a lot of material as well. So, yeah, it's inspirational, Dom. That's what I'm saying.
Being uneducated and you being an English teacher, you need to get your shit sorted out.
Do you think it's just talking about teachers, Mike? I've always thought, if you go into a job and you train when you're younger to go into a job, and I thought this about like how it's changed for like teachers, nurses, and I suppose cops as well. Any kind of government job, because someone can just walk in one day and we just decided to change everything you do, and it must be horrible. If you're a teacher and then they change the curriculum, for instance, to something you don't agree with, it must be fucking torturous to have to continue.
Well, I had a lot of freedom. I think if you're an English teacher or a drama teacher, or media studies,
yeah, but that was then though, Michael. What about now?
Now I think it's a lot more
because they just change things, and they've got to change it there and then. Imagine having a job. There
are gaps in the system. You know what I mean? The whole thing is not. I know we talked about this before about how the control system isn't 100% effective, and it never will be. It never has been. It never will be. So there's always gaps there. Yeah. There's always gaps there that you can flit in and out of, so to speak. So you introduced me to a term the other week, Dom. Nasal polyps. I'd never heard of that expression before.
No, it's me. I've got them. I've got nasal polyps.
Dom brought it up and said it was suggesting some remedy for it. Sounds fucking terrible, Chris.
It is. You taste and smells sporadic, in and out. I got a nasal infection just after 2020, and then my smells never come back properly. And then you just get a sporadic, can't breathe nose. But I had a camera shoved up my nose, and I've got like the size of your thumb, like that. He actually showed me his thumb. He said, they're like that big.
I heard you talking about it last time,
yeah. Our Dom's frozen. Yeah. He's frozen with a nasal polyp. He's still there, Fire? He's gone now. What the hell is going on today?
It's still recording. He's dipped out.
It's recorded and he's dipped out. He said his internet was acting.
You're up in Huddersfield this weekend, aren't you?
Yeah. We're doing the live show on Saturday. Yeah.
I bet you like going back, don't you?
I do. Yeah. I mean, I don't go up that often these days, to be fair. It's funny. I mean, Dom does all work for it, to be fair. I just have a conversation and ad lib a little bit. I found though, Michael, if I try and write something down, I get really stressed. I can only compare it to doing a few best man speeches. And when I've wrote something down, I get really stressed. If I just go and ad lib it on a few points, I'm all right.
Yeah.
So I'm not a big fan of public speaking, to be honest with you. But I never really get stressed doing our live shows, to be honest. It's fine.
Well, it's more of a conversation. If you think of it as a conversation.
Yeah.
And that's all it really is, isn't it?
Yeah.
So you're more in the flow of it. And writing things down for a speech, formalizing it can be stressful. I agree with you. But if you
just text me, Michael.
Down with a group of friends having a talk.
Yeah, and they do feel like that, the Sheep Farm listeners, you know what I mean? My internet's gone down for fuck's sake, Dom says.
It's Nadim Zahawi. And I found a picture of him in his head. I just thought he was a very pink-looking fella. So I came up with this. It's an image of Nadim Zahawi as the Pink Panther with a syringe in his hand. And I thought I'd write the lyrics for it. It's Return of the Pink Jabba of Baghdad. I'll give you. I don't know if this is recorded, but it doesn't matter if it's recording or not. So I'll give you the song because I thought you'd appreciate it. Think of all the psychopaths you've ever heard about, like AstraZeneca and Pfizer, how they stink. There are lots of psycho mammals in all this world, but have you ever seen a Zahawi that is pink? Think, a Zahawi that is positively pink. Well, here he is, the pink psycho, the rinky-dink psycho. Isn't he a psycho, ever so pink? He really is a murderous cat, and what a gentleman, a scholar, genocidal twat. He's in the pink psycho, the rinky-dink psycho, and it's as plain as your nose that he's the one and only truly original psycho, pink psycho from head to toe. Repeat. Well, I did it on. This is the thing with all this AI. It's going to make guys like you redundant. Mind you, AI can't make ashtrays.
Not yet. I tell you what, we're reading Empire magazine the other day, I get Empire magazine. I read it more out of interest now. Just Empire the film magazine.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
you read an article.
I used to get Sight and Sound magazine.
Yeah,
back
I remember
in
that.
The 90s.
Yeah. And I was reading an article. I'm thinking, this is written by fucking AI. This is a review for a film. It was, and then I got to the end and there was a spelling mistake. And I've read that magazine for years and I've never come across a spelling mistake before. And it was a really shit one as well. And I thought they would be using AI, wouldn't they? These fucking reviewers. They would be using AI.
You just missed my rendition of the Pink Panther song about Nadeem Zahawi done.
I actually read it on your email.
No, you didn't hear me sing it though, did you?
Oh, did you see the screen? Did it come up on your thing, Fire?
No. I got when he emailed me. We've had a line of technical issues, internet going off, your microphone going gaga, and for once it's not Chris. We've got his sorted out. Normally though, it is your audio, isn't it? Normally,
I always blame the younger brother. Even when it wasn't me, he blames me.
It generally is because I've got to do all editing.
We were just talking shite anyway, Fire.
Yeah. So where were we? Let's try and start at some point, right? Or should we just reschedule and keep this bit to where it is and just do another hour somewhere? Because sometimes
we could do. But there's a couple of things that I thought were very timely today that we ought to have a look at.
Go on then.
The first one that came into, you mentioned it last week about this fucking floating petri dish where they've got this alleged virus floating around, and it's called Zahanta virus, isn't it? Have you seen what Zahanta means in Hebrew?
Yeah.
No. What?
Yeah, go on, Michael. Anyway, I know.
It's the nonsense or the bullshit. This nonsense or bullshit is what it means. Zat this and Hunter bullshit.
I only realised the other day it were launched on April the 1st, that ship as well. Same day as at Artemis.
There you go. And another thing to celebrate.
Well, the ship was launched, Chris.
Yeah, apparently.
It didn't look a new ship, that. Or was it?
No. No, it was set sail, not launched. Set sail on. That worries it made me laugh. Have you seen the medics getting haloed into the zone?
No, they were getting it. That was on the remote island. The test. Somebody must have supposedly tested positive on this island. I don't think they'd even been on that cruise.
All right. I thought they were. Yeah. Did you see that, Michael? So they strapped, when they do those halo drops out the back of an airplane, really dramatic, and they strapped these medics to these soldiers and they leaped out. I mean, I thought I've seen that before, and I sent it to you today. It's in a Godzilla film. Do you remember that Godzilla film where they did that? And it's in Mission Impossible film where they did it as well. I thought they've got us ready for this, of how dramatic it is, zooming. I mean, surely they can't get a fucking helicopter over there. Did they have to do that dramatic leap out the back of an airplane?
It isn't middle of nowhere, Chris, that island. It's a really remote island. But
how did they get that virus?
Do they really need to do it anyway? You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, they don't do that.
No.
But if it's a really remote island, they've got to do that to get there. How's the virus going to get off the island to bother anyone else?
Chris, you've been far too reasonable with that question.
Sorry for bringing logic to this ridiculousness.
Yeah.
Any shade of logic to this fucking insanity. I mean, they're really going ahead with this one, though. It's everywhere, isn't it? That story.
But every narrative that's spinning out now is falling apart. Did you see the news today about Mariana Spring?
No.
They've disbanded the BBC department known as Verify.
Have they really?
Yeah.
It's strange, I was only talking about with
I didn't know
our mate Crabclaws, who lives in Linley, Jacko, the other day, about how they had to bring all this stuff out because the lies were getting so big. They had to have their own Ministry of Truth, if you like, on top of their own Ministry of Truth, which is a bit strange, really, isn't it? But when you think about the BBC, go on, sorry, Mike, go on, you were going to say something.
But they set themselves up as like the arbiters of truth. Right?
Yes,
our moral superiors, with her as the face of it all. But all around her, the BBC is seen to be faking stories and pumping out all kinds of propaganda on a daily basis that people are calling out. So I just think it collapsed into its own hubris. They just couldn't sustain it anymore.
No,
and that's hilarious to me.
What a phenomenon! These fact like finding fact finding websites. You know, there was loads of them pop up over the last 7 or 8 years. Even pre-COVID, we did a podcast, a 2-hour live podcast going back 4 years, where I'd done some research on Full Fact and all these other stupid podcasts that were still backed by all New World Order bloody companies and people like Google and stuff like that. There one even set up in Brighouse, if you remember, Chris. That was one of the main ones that was set up, and it isn't in there now. But that was all funded by, I think it was Google that funded it. So the very same people that were funding the shit show in 2020 were funding all the fact-finding companies. And how many times are we going to say I'm back? My internet's gone off. Michael's having computer issues.
I'm the only one who's got the perfect fucking storm here, actually.
Yeah, you're just perfect tonight, Chris. Yeah. Have you got a bottle of witch piss anyway? At least we can pretend that we're having a glass of wine. What you got?
A glass of wine.
Yeah.
Witch piss,
What is it? Some girly tinfoil label.
You know, organic Italian wine. My missus just
organic.
Yeah.
Are you just pouring a glass there?
Yeah, I am actually. I forgot it was there.
You forgot it were there?
My missus came in and put it there. I forgot it was there.
Right.
Yeah. Anyway, what about that?
Yeah, we're about a bit most of this, but in case it crashes again. What we were saying, Michael, me and Chris were talking about that there are a lot of things about ships in the news. Madonna had this outfit on where she had a bloody old, like, gothic. It was like a strange. What's that? Pirate ship, yeah.
Galleon, like a galleon
type of galleon on her head.
Well, you know what that reminds me of?
What?
That scene in Time Bandits.
Oh yeah.
Where they land on that. They're on a ship, and it's on a giant's head.
Giant's head, yeah, I remember that.
Have you seen do you know that film?
Yeah.
I watched it with my nippers back in December. No, February, and. Yeah, so that's another nautical. There's and don't forget also what's the super tank, not the tanker, the aircraft carrier, the Gerald Ford.
Gerald Ford, yeah,
returning to the US, isn't it?
Yeah, that apparently had a laundry fire. Yeah.
Do you know something that got me thinking? I forgot to tell you the other day was because we were on about all the nautical stuff in the sea, and then at the same time,
pajamas as well, Chris.
You what?
Your nautical pajamas.
and at the same time, we've got the what do they call it, UFO file bullshit.
Yeah,
right. And I'm thinking, so they're all talking nautical, and then they're talking about UFOs. Maybe something's going to come out of the fucking sea. Maybe that's where the disclosure is going to come from, because it's not going to be from space like they've told us in all the films. It's going to have to be something different. It can't be exactly like, you know, one of the Spielberg science fiction films. So maybe something's going to happen in the water. That's what I was thinking. I'm totally making that up. I haven't got a clue, by the way. Just that we were on about everything being nautical at the minute.
Yeah, especially like when the Gulf and Straits of Hormuz and stuff like that they're talking about tankers and cargo ships and
we've got this disease on that Petri dish boat and zombie boat, whatever it is, and Madonna wearing a black chip on her head. Maybe it's going to come from the sea.
Well, we were talking about John Hamer's book Beyond the Ice Wall, 66 degrees beyond the ice wall, and there's all kinds of strange happenings occurring down in Antarctica, as there are in the North Pole.